मुदिता मैडम लाइव हैं अब
Yes, sir. Okay, all right.
मुदिता मैम स्टार्ट करो।
Okay, sir. Okay. Good afternoon to one and all present over here. Today, I take this opportunity to welcome you all in the national webinar on the topic of design, thinking, new innovative thinking, and prototyping. I would like to give a warm welcome to our today's guest speaker, Dr. Shruti Bhargava Chobe. I would like to extend my hands for welcome to respected Vice Chancellor, Dr. Shailendra Sharma, on-screen dignitaries Dr. Pradeep Lashkar, HOD Department of CSA, Dr. Nilesh Jain, Professor Praveen Bhargav, all HODs, HOIs, and all faculty members and my dear students. Today, Department of Computer Science and Application, Mandsaur University is organizing a national webinar on design thinking, new innovative thinking and prototyping. For this webinar, Dr. Shruti Bhargava Chobe is with us. Dr. Shruti have completed her BE and M.Tech in Electronics and Digital Communication from RGPV Bhopal and PhD in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Dr. K.N. Modi University, Jaipur. Dr. Shruti have around 14 plus years of experience in teaching and research. She have 100 plus international and national journal publications, 8 plus chapters in book series, and also 3 patents are published in IP India. At present, she is working with Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in SREENIDHI Institute of Science and Technology, Hyderabad as Associate Dean, Research and Innovation. On behalf of Department of Computer Science and Application, Mandsaur University, I feel proud to give a warm regards to our today's guest speaker, Dr. Shruti Bhargava Chobe. And now, I would like to hand over this virtual mic to you, madam. Over to Shruti, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all the dignitaries of Mandsaur University, respected VC sir, uh, Lakshkar sir, Nilesh Jain sir, Bhargav sir, and thanks a lot, Mudita ma'am, for this awesome introduction. So let's start our session. Can I
please.
share?
Yes, please you share your screen.
Yeah. Is the screen visible properly?
Yes, yeah. Please
Yes, ma'am.
do slides.
Visible, visible.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So let's start our session. Topic of today's session is design thinking process for innovation and leadership, and being presented by me. I'm Dr. Shruti. I think introduction is already over. So before starting the session, let's start with some good words of Einstein. Was certainly right. We can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. In addition, with the rapid changes in society, the methods we have previously used to solve many problems we face are no longer effective. We need to develop new ways of thinking in order to design a better solution, services, and experiment that can solve our current problem. So, design thinking is not an exclusive property of designers. All great innovators in literature, art, music, science, engineering, and basic business have practiced it. So, why call it as a design thinking? What's special about design thinking? Is about designers' work process can help us systematically extract, teach, learn, and apply these human-centered techniques to solve problems in a creative and innovative way in our designs, in our business, in our countries, and in our routine life. Some of the world's leading brands, such as Apple, Google, Samsung, GE, have rapidly adopted the design thinking approach, and design thinking is being taught at leading universities around the world, including Stanford, Harvard, MIT. But you don't know what design thinking is and why it's so popular. Here, I'll cut the chase and tell you what is it and why it is in so demand. So basically, what is a design thinking? That is the biggest question. So according to the Tim Brown, it's not neither a art or a science or a religion. It is the capacity ultimately for integrative thinking. Design thinking is a human-centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the need of people, the possibilities of technology, and the requirement of a business success. In employing design thinking, we are pulling together what's desirable from a human point of view with what is the technology feasible, economical, and it's viable. It also allows to those who are not trained designers to use technologically feasible, economically viable. It also allows those who aren't trained as designers to use creative tools and address a vast range of challenge. This process starts with taking action and understanding the right question. It's all about embracing simple mindset shift and tackling problems with a new direction. Basically, design thinking is a design methodology that provides a solution based approach to solving a problem. It's extremely useful taking our routine life problems, or if the problem is unknown, by understanding the human needs involved, by reframing in the problem in a human centric way, by creating many ideas. In this session, and by adopting a hands on approach in prototyping and testing, understanding these five stages of design thinking will empower anyone to apply the design thinking method in order to solve the complex problem that occur around us. So, what does design thinking contain? This is the sweet spot of innovation. Basically, this design thinking contains three types of thing. Desirability. It should be a desirable solution, one that your customer is really needs. Viability. It should be a profitable solution within a sustainable business model. Feasibility. It's a feasible solution building on the strength of your current operational capabilities. So these are the three steps that make your design thinking as an innovative. And if we club all three, then we will get the sweet spot of innovation. So the basic introduction of design thinking is over. Let's discuss how and what are the steps of a design process. So these are the basic steps of design thinking: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Empathize, the first stage of design thinking process to gain empathic understanding of the problem you are trying to solve. This involves consulting expert to find out more about the area of concern through observing, engaging, empathizing with the people to understand their experience. As well as empathy is a crucial human centered design approach. As in design thinking, empathy allows design thinkers to set aside their own assumptions. It depends upon time constraint. A substantial information of amount is required. So it is really required before going for any idea. Proper empathizement should be there. Second stage is define. Define the problem. During the define stage, you can put together the information you have created and gathered during the emphasize stage. This is where you will analyze your observation and synthesize them in order to define the core problems. Framing the right problem is the only way to create the right solution. That is the define. Ideate. This is the third stage. It is where with the right idea, you have empathize, you have right idea. So it's all about generating the broadest range of the possibilities. So during the third stage of this design thinking, designers are ready to start generating ideas. You have grown to understand your observation in the defined stage and ended up with a human-centered problem statement. With this solid problem statement you have created, and you can look for the alternative ways of viewing the problems. There are hundreds of ideation techniques, but that is your choice, that with which you want to go for the ideation. The next step is prototype. This step, definitely, as the title indicates of this talk, I'll explain this prototyping in a detail, because the prototyping is the problem genuinely we are facing after these completing the 3 stages. So definitely we'll discuss this in a detail, but yes, it's a brief introduction. So the design team now can go for a number of inexpensive scaled down version of the product or a specific feature found within the product. So this is all emphasizing, define, ideate, prototype, test. I'll give you a number of examples. Definitely after this theory session, I'll show you a number of examples. You can feel motivated that how people can implement this design thinking and how they can become a millionaire and billionaire. It's not about becoming a millionaire. It's all about to satisfy yourself. It's all about to do something for you. It's all about to face yourself. So design thinking is not at all a private property, is not at all like something like thinking beyond the box and all. Yeah, an additional thinking is required, but we can understand the design thinking with our routine life also. And in routine life, we can see hundreds of examples that are because of design thinking only. So after the prototype, the next step is test. Designers or evaluator test the complete product using the best solution identified during the prototyping phase. This is the final stage of this 5-stage model, but it an interactive process. It is iterative process. The results generated during the testing phase are often to redefine one or more problems, inform understanding of the users, the condition of the use, how people think, behave, feel, and empathize. Even during this phase, understanding of the product and understanding with the users is also a difficult task. See, these all 5 stages, but it's not compulsory that these 5 stages should be a sequential. It should be a non-linear. They should not have follow an any specific order, and they can often occur in a parallel and can be repeated. As such, the stages should be understood as different modes that contribute to a project rather than a sequential step. However, the amazing thing, the 5-stage design thinking is that systematics and identify 5-stage mode you would expect to carry in a design product. And in any innovation problem solving project, every project will involve activities specific to the project under development, and the central area behind the stage remains the same. So it's our wish from where we want to start, but the end should be a proper tested prototype. This is the simple comparison with the basic design and the design thinking. So I think you can easily able to observe design is an individual product, engineering or art. But if we will talk about a design thinking, it's a team, it's an experience, it's a human, it's a tech base. So always design thinking should not be technological. You can think about anything. You can think about a routine thing. You can think about a social issues that we are seeing in our routine life. So it's all about how we are thinking. That is why the name has given as the design thinking. So before going for the principle, every innovation have some story. Yeah, behind every innovation, behind everything there is some story. Maybe with the bigger innovation there is a bigger story, it may get highlighted, but with the small innovation there is a small story. So I just wanted to discuss one of the story that I heard. Thinking more, thinking beyond the thing, provide an innovative solution to a sticky problem. However, thinking outside of the box can be real challenge, as we naturally develop pattern of thinking that are modeled on the repetitive activities and commonly excess knowledge we surround ourselves with. Some years ago, an incident occurred with a truck driver tried to pass under a low bridge, but he failed and the truck was lodged firmly under the bridge. The driver was unable to continue driving either through or reverse. The story goes that as the truck becomes stuck, massive traffic problems which resulted emergency personnel engineers, firefighter, truck drivers gathering to advise and a negotiative various solution for dislodging the trapped vehicle. Because of a truck, there is a large traffic. Yeah, it's possible. We have seen so many times in our routine life. Emergency worker, they came for to solve the problem. They are debating with each other. They said that we can dissimulate the parts of the truck or chip away the parts of the bridge. Each spoke of a solution which fitted with his or her own perspective level of expertise. A boy walking and witnessing that intense debate looked at the truck at the bridge, then looked at the road and said, why just not let the air out of the tires? Why we cannot let out air out of the tires? So, to the absolute amazement of the all specialists and expert, trying, everyone accepted the solution and they tried. When the solution was tested, actually the truck was able to drive free with the ease, having suffered only the damage caused by his initial attempt to pass underneath the bridge. The story symbolizes the struggle we face, where oftentimes the most obvious solutions are ones hardest to come by because of self-imposed constraint to be worked within. So this is the story shows the entire structure of a design thinking. We have to think with the in our routine way. There is no extra thinking. The thinking beyond this is not at all a scientist type of thing that we cannot do. This is the job of scientist and all. No, if you think and you can get a solution, and if you get a solution, you can test your solution. You can make a prototype. You can test your solution. So with this story, what is the outcome? That there are a certain principle of a design thinking. Design thinking is a action oriented. It's a support challenge. It focuses on the human. It developed foresight. It's dynamic and iterative. See, I'll give the best example of dynamic and iterative, but at the time of example session, promotes empathy, reduce risk, create shared meaning, relies on adaptable process, combine logic and creativity. So action oriented, yeah, it is action oriented. The shown is a story, supports change. Yeah, no one has thought that if we'll out the air from the tire, it can goes in a nice way. Focused on the human. It's dynamic and iterative. Yeah, every time once if we have developed one solution, we cannot stick into that way. We cannot stick and sit simply. It is a dynamic and iterative process, and if you are not a dynamic and iterative, you will throw out of the market. And the best example is these phones. Every time you can see some modification is there. What is the need? Once they have developed, they can sell their product. What is the need, Apple to go for several modification? What is the need of these iPhone series? because they want stay in market. They want to be survive in the market. Otherwise, they will throw out. Let me give you the example of Gillette. Once in a time, Gillette is the best brand. Gillette is the best brand. But since last 2-3 years, they have too much loss. The loss in millions. Why? Because at that time when they started, people are loved to be as a clean shave. But now the beard came in a fashion. Everyone likes to be have the beard. What happened? They have to come with a solution. They came, but before them, so many competitors came. It takes time to stand them again in the market, but they can. Yes, because they are iterative and they know how to sustain. So that's why this design thinking is always dynamic and iterative. So these are the principle of design thinking. Now, while going to a design thinking, a selection of traits and technique is also required. So how can you select the traits and techniques in a design thinking? Establish empathy and understanding for your user. Yes, definitely. You have to be empathize and understand your user. Here, I'll give an example of two MBA students. They are doing their MBA from Singapore, and like they are interested in this design thinking. They have taken this course that I'm talking about early 2013 and 2012. So they have taken the design thinking as a course, and like they've started. They said, okay, yeah, we can do. There is a lots of possibility. So just as an experiment or internship session, their mentor sent them to a market and asked them to get some problems. What are the problems are facing by those persons, those who are sellers in the market? So they came and they back with the problem that they don't have proper carry bags to carry their luggage. It is very difficult for them to carry their luggage and they are facing a lot. So they both started thinking. Then all of a sudden, one student came with the option that he saw her sister carrying her son in that carry bag. So he came with the possibility, if we can implement this, can we get a solution? So with a happy mood, they went and they have created the bag. They said, now we are the design thinkers. We have settled. Now we will get the orders and all. So the first thing their mentor said, you give your product to the users because it should be understood by the users. When the users started using, they can't expect that they came with so many issues, so many complaints. Because carrying a baby in a bag in front of your nose, it's okay. But carrying things like onion, like fish, it's very difficult. They came with the complaints that with the smell, we can't even able to carry these all stuff. So here their solution has died, finished. Why? Because when you are doing in design thinking, you have to understand first that you are doing this thing for a user. It should be a user friendly. If you have designed a product of 1,000 rupees, then you have to think that whether a middle class or lower middle class can afford that or not. Otherwise, your product will always be in for upper middle class and higher class. So this is always for that. Whenever you are designing a product, then you have to understand your user. You have to ability to reframe the question and challenge the status. Working together in a co-innovative across expertise, using visualizations, prototyping, iterate quickly, dare to experiment and fail early, iterative way of working rather than a waterfall projects. So this is a selection of traits and techniques while designing any product, while thinking a solution. You should in that position that you can ask a question from yourself and you can get an answer from yourself. You have to iterate your prototype. You should be in the condition that you can reiterate your prototype quickly. You can change your prototype, then dare to experiment. And if you fail early, it's really good for your product. If you'll fail in later stage, it's really a loss. But if you fail early, then you come again to the iterating stage. So, answering all those questions, how can you select traits and techniques in a design thinking? Let's move to the business model canvas. So, basically, what is a business model canvas? That gives answer of your all questions. What are the traits and techniques? So, the business model canvas is a great tool to help you understand a business model in a straightforward and a structured way. Using this canvas, it will lead to insight about the customers you serve, what value propositions are offered, though what channels and how your company makes money. You can also use the business model canvas to understand your business model or that for a competitor. The business model canvas can be created by, it was created by Alexander. The business model canvas reflects systematically your business model, so you can focus on your business model segment by segment. This also means you can start with a brain dump, filling out the segment, spring to your mind first, and then work on empathy segment to close the gaps or to fill the gaps. So this is the business model canvas. In this business model canvas, we have right side that focus on to the customer relationship, customer segment, and then while left side of the canvas focus the business internal, that is key partner and key activities and a cost structure. So both external and internal factors meet around the value proposition, which is the exchange of value between your business and your customer clients. So why we use it? Let's start with the value proposition, that is a center. That is a center block. So the value proposition, it is foundational to any business product. It's a fundamental concept to exchange of value between your business and your customers. Generally, a value exchange from a customer for money when the problem is solved or a pain is relieved from them by your business. So, before doing the value proposition, you should ask some question by your own that what is the problem I'm solving? Why would someone want to have this problem to be solved? What is underlying motivator for this problem? Let's come to the customer segment. Customer segment is a practice of dividing a customer base into the group of individual and they are similar in a specific way, such as age, gender, interest, and spending habits. So, before going to that, you should understand that who are we solving the problem for? Who are the people? Will they value my proposition? Are they another business? If so, what are the characteristics of those business? See, another thing to gauge and understand is your market size and how many people there are in the customer segment. That is the most important point. Let's come to the customer relationship. Okay, so we know our value proposition has developed personas to better understand our customer segment. But what is the relationship between we have with our customer and we? So, do you meet with them personally or over the phone or your business run online so that relationship will be online too? So with these, we have so many questions before going for this customer relationship. The general questions is, how are we going to tell our customer segment about our value proposition? Where are our customer? Are they on social media? Are they any event or conference? Do they watch TV? So this is all. Why these all question and why we have to find the answer, because for example we have given our ad in a program at 7 p.m. TV on a Friday night. So first we have to ask a question whether they are watching a TV at 7 p.m. in a night. Then only they can able to see our ad. So these are the important question that we have to ask ourselves first before going for the business model canvas. Key activities. Key activities of your business. We came to the left side. So product are the actions that your business undertake to achieve the value propositions for your customers. The questions to be asked. What activities does the business undertake? What the resource needed? Time, expertise, distribution of the product, technical development, strategy, and so on. So many things are there. So these comes under the key activities. So if we'll give some examples, that is consulting, designating someone, web development. So that will come under these key activities. Now, key resources. So next we have to think about what practical resources are needed to achieve the key activities action of the business. Key means the resources your business require to do the business. These resources, what is need practically to undertake action activities of your businesses, office space, that these are the compulsory things you should have before you start your company. What do you want or need to organize, have within your company? So these are, you should have an office space, you should have car or bike, you should have electricity, you should have computer with an internet connections. So these are the key resources. Key partners. Key partners are, these are the list of external companies, supplier, parties that you need to achieve your key activities and deliver value to the customers. Yeah, these are our prototype partners. These all people, our prototype partners. And for example, if I sell groceries to the customers, I may need local baker to supply fresh bread to my store. So this is, that fresh baker is our partner. He is our key partner. So this is also an required thing. Let's come to the last, that is second last, it's cost structure. Cost structure means what cost do you make? Your business cost structure defined as a monetary cost of operating as a business. How much does it cost to achieve my business key activities? What are the costs of my key resources and key partnerships? How much does it cost to achieve value propositions? Are the additional costs to running the business, legal, insurance, cost of entire business, to place a mandatory value, your time as a cost? How much would it cost you to hire someone? What is the opportunity cost running your business? That all will come under the cost structure. Then the last is revenue streams. Revenue streams are defined as the way by which business convert your value proposition or solution to the customer's problem into financial gain. It's also important to understand pricing your business accordingly to the pain of purchase in exchange for the pain, but how of solving of the problem for your customer. But here the question is, how do you gain a revenue? So making in revenue, we have so many models like paper product, pay per view, then referral codes, referral fees, freemium, equity gain. So these comes under the revenue streams. These are the things that come under your revenue model. So that is all about business canvas. The business canvas consists key partner, key activities, key resources, value propositions, customer relationships, channels, customer segment, cost structure, and revenue stamps. If you can able to analyze and observe this business model canvas in a nice way, then definitely your product will give you at least your production cost, and it's for sure. Yeah, so this is about a business model canvas. Let's go to the companies, those who follow these business model canvas, and those who follow these innovation design thinking. As I told you, Apple, Google, Toyota, Microsoft, 3M, Nokia, Starbucks, IBM, Sony, Dell, Intel, eBay, Walmart, Amazon, Honda, Research in Motion, and Southwest Airlines. Here I have not taken the three names. These three names are new, that is IKEA, Target, and then Research in Motion. See, IKEA is a Swedish brand. Once you visit the IKEA store, what's the thing you won't found? They are providing very good product in a cheaper cost. You can buy product from them and quality is really good. And they have covered almost in recent years, they have covered almost 25% of entire market. So that is also, and they followed what they have followed, this innovation design thinking, iterative process. Once they have sold the model, you will not find that same model in their stock. Initially, they have started with a few stores, but now they are selling online as well. So this, and these all big brand, yeah, we will discuss. Let's start with the design thinking example. The very first design thinking example, I'll give this. I think I have not written the name, no need to write the name. This is our Latakia car Nano, and this is an Activa. See, why this Activa came into the picture? Tata started and why this nano car came into the picture. Let's start with the Honda Activa. Why it came? So initially, the two-wheeler in place of Activa running in the market is Kinetic Honda. Kinetic Honda is a good vehicle. It's neither for men or male or for female. It's a common vehicle. But the drawback suffers with that Kinetic. It's not a fuel efficient. The maintenance charges are high and it's not at all a fuel efficient. And in early stage, when 2000, in between 2006 to 2008, when there is a extreme hike of women's enter into the IT market, they started work in IT firms. The requirement of these type of scooter came into the picture, that yes, it is required. So the birth of Honda Activa came. They have changed the design of Kinetic, come as in Honda Activa. It's neither for a male nor for a female. A female can drive very nicely. They have given a space to hang your purse. They have given a space to keep your helmet, and with the awesome mileage. So this is the story of Honda Activa. Now come to the Latakia car Tata Nano. So one day that's raining and Mr. Ratan Tata, he is on the way to his home. He saw that a middle class family is struggling with his two-wheeler and they can't be able to move because of the heavy rain. So he knows that all the cars are too costly. A middle class, below middle class cannot afford that in a same cost. So he immediately, he called the meeting. He tell the entire engineering team, we have to design the low cost car and this Nano came into the picture. Yeah, definitely there are some pros and cons. Nano totally out from the market, but yeah, at some time it has given a big competition to Alto. So definitely this is also an example of a design thinking. Let's come to Oral-B electric toothbrush. So Oral-B electric toothbrush Oral-B recruited expertise Kim Collin and Sam Hack, founders of the London-based design studio industrial facility. When they have started to work on that, they have to sense how well the users were brushing every single tooth and even how sensitive their gums are. However, they both quickly advised them to think more about the customer experience as opposed to their own vision for the product. They suggested how a few simple additions to the brush could solve many of the frictions. These were reporting. They started working. They have made a USB charger and made it easier for users to order replacement brush heads. Both the problems solved, and this Oral-B electric toothbrush came into the market. The result of their hard work come as an exceptional product that took user feedback into consideration, boost sales, and increase customer loyalty. Next is Uber Eats. If we'll talk about before 2008, can anyone think that there is a door-to-door delivery of any fooding items? Can anyone think? Yeah, it's quite common for every place. Every place. Even the market is expanded in a such way that you can find this delivery in a nearby villages, those who can situated nearby to city. So what's the story of this Uber Eats? So it's constantly accessing design thinking principle to fuse modern state of art technology. And it's safe. They have had a pretty successful project. One thing that really stands about Uber Eats design team is their adherence to the design thinking process. They seek to empathize with the user's experience so much that they have implemented the process, a program quarterly event where Uber Eats designers are sent to city and learn about its transportation infrastructure, delivery, and about the restaurant industry. So this is how they have started, empathize, how they have ideated, and how this Uber Eats came into the market. And now this is not even Uber Eats, Zomato, Swiggy, so many door-to-door step deliveries are available. Next is this life-saving dot. See, in India, millions of women across rural India suffered from the breast cancer. Fibrocystic breast disease compilation during pregnancy, most of these cases are linked to an iodine deficiency. So what is the biggest challenge? The challenge is to provide a supplement in the form of pills are available, but women weren't getting or taking them. So the real change is how do you help these women to get a required doses of iodine? The solution came up with this life-saving dot, an idea that transformed bindis into iodine patches. Every woman required 150 to 220 micrograms iodine daily. These bindis dispensed the amount to the wearer daily. These bindis dispense that amount to the wearer in a routine basis. Life-saving dots were distributed to the women across the rural India via health campus, clinics, and reaches in many villages. This is the example of a design thinking. Someone think and design. Yeah, the best example. I'm waiting for that. Your Guru Patanjali. Your Guru Baba Ramdev, everyone knows him. Now, because of recent controversy, he became very popular. So, and he is popular because of his yoga. No one think that a yoga will do that much change. He has followers in millions and billionaires. And When he started his yoga session, someone asked in his session that you are always talking about Shuddha Vayu, Shuddha Ahar. How should we get it? Why can't you start to sell these Shuddha Ahars? He's always recommended Loki ka juice, Karele ka juice, these all type of juice. It is very difficult in a routine life to make these all things. So they started the company Patanjali. Now, Patanjali his hai 200 crores. Patanjali Ayurveda has been giving a sleepless night to almost every multinational in India. He seems to have overtaken the boardroom discussion in a several consumer products companies such as Colgate, Palmolive, Dabur, Lux, even Britannia, and with a barrage of news articles and press that Patanjali is getting. The media seems to go on nuts covering Baba Ramdev's Patanjali Ayurved, a manufacturing of Ayurvedic medicines, food products, and consumer goods. Patanjali Ayurved is doing by selling thousands of products which are priced lower than the competition in nearly categories. Yes, definitely. They have more than 112 YouTube channels, and their branding, their strategy, they know how to sell the products is awesome. It's really hats off. And in 2018, 19, and 1920, they were the best sellers. They were the best sellers. So this is what? This is all our design thinking. Someone think about to sell a Loki ka juice and he started and now he become, you can see. The next example is the Maruti Suzuki. This example cover the entire structure of design thinking. Empathize, think, ideate, then iterate. So the best thing of this Maruti Suzuki is what? That they don't want to go behind the customer. They wanted it that they can make a relationship with the customer. And how they made the relationship, like you can buy a vehicle with them, you can make it service, everyone is provided. But if you want to sell your vehicle, they have their own. And if you sell your vehicle, old vehicle to them, you will get a good discount. So they have all the texts and traits to stop. Once you become their customer, you can't go anywhere, and they will make sure for that. That is the biggest example of design thinking. This is a Maruti. No need to explain more about Maruti. Everyone knows their services. Because of their services, because of their design thinking, because of their traits, they are owner of more than 45% of entire market. Still, they are struggling to make it to 55% or 60%. But yes, owning on 45% is also a good figure. This is. Yeah. This guy is a Niranjan. He invented this Neernal in 2017. He studied in Bangalore, and he saw that in his village there is a one government school, and where students are drinking water and the overhead tank is quite dirty. He decided that yeah, every government school cannot afford the cost of the water purifier because it costs more. Everyone cannot afford. So he decided to make the cheapest water filter, and this is Neernal. It cost 30 rupees. And after that, he came up, he got so many support from NGOs, from government. He came up with so many types of modification in the existing product. So why he gone for the modification? He is stable in market. But no, if you want to be in a market in a continuous process, you should be modify yourself, you should be challenge yourself, and you have to be get answers of your questions. Then only you can sustain in a market. That says our design thinking. Amazon, the biggest example. Why Amazon is the biggest example? When they came to India in initial years, they have started the tea campaign. What is a tea campaign? They said in a very simple way, चाय तो बस बहाना है, मकसद आपका व्यापार बढ़ाना है. So what it says, that once you come, once you join with them, you will get your business. That is what? That is a strategy. You will get your business, they will get their business. What is that? What is that? This is a design thinking. That why we can't think that? Why we have not started our Amazon? Why they have started? Because they have think what they can do. They have surveyed in the market what is requirement, and now you can see Amazon is giving that to it's not an Indian company, but it is Amazon is giving option to thousand, hundreds, lakhs of that small scale persons to explore their sales, to explore their markets, or to sell their products. Amazon given a platform, and you can check, if you search for a one product, you can find a same product with a different cost. And if you will go to the seller details, you will find the seller nearby you, either your nearby city. So yes, that happens. So this is an Amazon. चाय तो बहाना है, मकसद आपका व्यापार बढ़ाना है, and they have increased. Now Amazon is the best online seller in between Alibaba and Shopcluse, Myntra, and these all Flipkart. So many came, but still Amazon is Amazon. So all followed the same strategy, but iteration is always needed. These are some simple invention. You can see this is the earlier computer. This is the new one. This is earlier wheels. Now you can see the changes in design. Yeah, this is the example of routine. No one can think that the cup like this can be come into the picture. Earlier, we don't know that these many choppers will come. Someone faced the problem, so they invented chopper. A chopper is also an design thinking. See, design thinking is anything. Just you should know where is the problem, how can you solve the problem. As I said, that I'll discuss more about prototyping. So, what is prototyping? So, these are some topics we are going to cover. What is prototype, goal, how, why, what, general features, benefits, disadvantage, prototyping approaches. What is basically a prototyping? It's an experimental process where the design terms implement ideas into a form, one paper to a digital. It is a limited representation of a design that allow user to interact with in and explore its usability. So aim to have something that can be tested with the real users. Design, prototype, value it. If it is not perfect, you can redesign. If it is okay, then done. Why prototyping? See, prototyping is required for your stakeholders that can see, hold, and interact with the prototype. Your team members can communicate effectively. Evaluation and feedback are central to the interaction design. It encourages reflection and very important aspect of a design. It answers questions and support designer to choosing between different alternatives. Goals of prototyping. So it's an experimental process. From paper to digital, team builds prototype of varying degrees of fidelity to capture design concept and test on users with the prototypes. You can redefine and revalidate your design so you can brand and can release the right product. What are the goals? Exploring requirement that comes in that market analysis and participatory design will come. Choosing among alternative, risky or critical failures. Then we have some options whether go or not to go. Then empirical usability testing. As early as possible, try out ideas with the target users. Don't think that we'll go to a large production level, then we will sell into the market. No. Just make your product, and try with the target users. Evolutionary development may delivery choose a malleable software platform, building software in an iterative profession. How to prototype? Build a prototype of basic functionality. It may be an interfacing. Test a prototype, correct the errors, repeat. That we have discussed in earlier slides also. The main thing is that you should know that the prototype is the major tool to improve the usability, and it is the only thing that you can make a chain between you and your customer. Unless you don't have your prototype in your hand, you cannot ask someone to experiment it. Okay, so this is the most important part of your design thinking. This is the journey of prototyping process, that is goals, functionality, develop and evaluate. So we have different prototyping techniques. We have throwaway prototyping. We can call it as a rapid prototyping. We have incremental prototyping. Basically, if we'll talk about throwaway prototyping, it's like exclusively in requirements gathering. Incremental prototyping, basically it's a delivery of prototyped functions to a single in an overall design. That is another is rapid action development or evolutionary prototyping. As per the rapid prototype, we can increment in the design. Then throwaway or a evolutionary prototype that can build, tested and thrown away. Incremental prototype, final system built as a separate component. And then they are not discard, but serve as a basic for next iteration of the design. So we have revolutionary, incremental and evolutionary. Revolutionary is built and thrown away. Incremental, for final system built as a separate component, and evolutionary, it's not a discarded. Revolution discarded, but evolution may not be discarded. Then come to the most important thing. There is a two type of designing, two type of prototyping. First is low fidelity and a high fidelity. Low fidelity, if we will talk about, does not take very much time to come into the final product, and they use a very different material such as paper, cardboard rather than an electronic screen and a metal. It used during early stages of development, cheap and easy to modify. If we will come for a high fidelity prototyping, choice of materials and method, it should be identical to the final product. Looks more like the final system. Common development environment like PowerPoint, VB, development tools, and mislead user expectation. Maybe user may think that you have a full system, but it's just a prototype. So if we will talk about pros and cons of these prototyping, then for low fidelity, it's fast and cheap. And the cons is lack of realism. So users might have hard time giving in feedback, hard to apply results from crude to early versions. If we'll talk about high fidelity, then we have engaging all stakeholders have vision realized in their hand and can judge how well it matches user needs to solve their problems. But if we talk about cons, longer, costlier to create. It takes you a lot of money and time. You will, and then the designer are likely to dislike the idea of making changes, which is really harmful for the designer, because the designer invested lots of money and time for that prototype. However, fidelity is relative. A static mock-up of a landing page, for example, higher fidelity than sketched cutouts user can move. Overall, you should always commit prototyping with the user's needs in mind, particularly with an eye of user flow. You should know who are your users, for whom you are designing. According to that, you can define your prototyping. So let's come to the conclusion, what we have uh, discussed as of now. So, with the prototyping, with the examples, with the design thinking, the conclusion is that the design thinking is a process between a problem space and a solution space. We have to design a challenge and we have to design a solution as well. We can diverge, we can converse, emphasize, reframe, ideate, prototype, and test. These are the steps of the design thinking. And here, emphasizing prototype and test is the important part. Again, I am repeating that this is not a linear process. You can emphasize, ideate, in any order. In any order. There is no need to go for a particular order. Like emphasize, define, ideate, prototype. You can decide your order, in which order you have to go. Then, if we will talk about a design challenge to the design solution, you have started with so many clumsy things our mind, but at the end you will get your straight line, and that shows. So, see, design thinking, again I am telling, it's not at all a property of someone. All great innovators have done the design thinking in the various fields like literature, art, music, science, engineering. So this is can be anyone's cup of tea. Anyone can practice it, anyone can start, but before starting you should know that what is the problem, and for whom we are going to deliver the solution. That is the important point. If you can able to observe all these things, like you can able to observe your users, you can able to create your entire business canvas in a right way, or you can able to go for initial prototyping and then for testing, then it is possible that you will get an awesome thing with your design thinking. So with this, I'm going to stop here. Thank you all. Thank you everyone for listening me. Again, I'm thankful to Mandsaur University, respected VC sir, and the entire staff, HOD CSE, Dean sir, and ma'am for attending in session. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thanks, ma'am. So, may I know the feedbacks? What about session?
Yeah, that's why. If anyone have any question, they can please ask.
Yeah, queries and
Praveen sir? Praveen sir, can you hear me?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Yes. You got any question on chat box?
No, madam. No questions.
Okay. So shall I proceed?
Yes, yes, madam. Proceed.
Okay. So really we can say that innovation is the outcome of a habit, not a random act actually. And with these words, I would like to call Head of the Department of Computer Science and Application, Mandsaur University, Dr. Nilesh Jain, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Mudita.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Nilesh Jain, and I'm here to present the vote of thanks for today's webinar. I would like to thank our webinar speaker, Dr. Shruti choubey ma'am, for enlightening us with their knowledge. Today's webinar was full of knowledge. It gave deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. I'm pretty sure the precious knowledge that Shruti ma'am gave us will definitely help us in our research and innovation. Once again, I would like to thank Shruti ma'am for taking out time from their busy schedule and enlightening us with their knowledge. Thank you so much. I want to thank the MCA faculties, especially Praveen sir, Mudita ma'am, and Ram sir, who really work hard to make this event successful. Also, thank you all the students and participants to present here for paying your attention and learning. I would end my speech here. Thank you. Over to Mudita.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone, to attend the session. Thank you, Praveen, sir. Thank you, Shruti, ma'am.
Thank you, Shruti ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity. Thank you again. Thanks to Computer Application Department. Yeah.
Okay, madam.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to all. Thank you.